It's time for the Jupiter Joe Money Show. I'm Jenny Thomas, and we have Jupiter Joe, our host. And today we hear this a lot, can you really get income forever?
Income forever? Question mark. Yeah, I'm here to tell you, yes, you can get income forever. You know, any police officer, municipal worker, anybody who works for the county, anybody that has a pension plan, yes, they get income forever. And if they do it right, they can leave their spouse money forever too. But what we're talking about is income annuities, where you have an income annuity that guarantees your income forever for the rest of your life and for the rest of your spouse's life, husband or wife. And that's a big deal.
So just like a pension works and just like Social Security works.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. In fact, I was just writing some notes down, and you know, the reason people like these income annuities so much is because it guarantees you income for life, just like Social Security does. You know, Social Security's income forever. You get it as long as you live, right? Mm-hmm. Well, so does an annuity. It's the same thing. But how can you do it? Well, the government does it. We do it too with insurance companies, you know. I asked you to put these numbers together, and this is going to be a show that I want people to understand that these numbers are guaranteed numbers when we talk about them. Okay, this is examples, but we ran this morning, you know, and these are the numbers. So you put in $250,000, you're age 67, and this works for any age, by the way. You don't have to be 67. You could be 60, 50, whatever age you want to be. You can turn. I have a guy right now we're talking about. He's in his, I think, early 50s, and he wants an income stream to start now, and he's going to have 40 or 50 years of income. Talk about a smart man, right? Yeah. So you don't have to be 67, but this example is putting in $250,000, you're age 67, and you want income in 3 years at 70, $25,000 a year for life. Now let's do the math. If you're 70 years of age, your mortality table is say 85. I'll make it 90 to make it real simple. You know, you're going to get $250,000 in 10 years. In 20 years, you got $500,000. You doubled your money, right? And if your wife lives another 10 years, she gets $250,000. You may get back on this money anywhere from $500,000 to $750,000 worth of income. Okay, so you're giving us a lump sum of money, and then income's turning into money forever. Okay, and by the way, if you get sick, we double your income for 5 years. Okay, and when you run out of that, it goes back to the original amount. I mean, it's just staggering what these insurance companies do, and they're no sweethearts. They make money on your money. Let's be honest, they're a business. You know, they're in business to make money. Here's $350,000 at age 67, and you turn income on at 70. You're getting $35,000 a year. You know, that's like a 10% payout. When you look at the numbers, you know, I'm a math guy, right? You put in $250,000, you're getting $25,000 a year. That's like 10% of your money.
Right.
Right? $350,000, you're getting $35,000. That's 10% on your money. Okay. $500,000 is $50,000 a year. Now you just ran these numbers, right? So if somebody's 67 right now, I say, hey, Joe, I want that deal. It's available. Okay. We don't make these numbers up out of the air. You know, the insurance company tells us what the rate's going to be. They tell us what the payment's going to be. And by the way, you can take it yearly, $35,000, you know, $50,000, whatever you want to do yearly, or you can take it monthly. You know, most of our clients, 99% of the clients usually take it monthly.
So when you compare this to something else, like a 401k or whatever it is, there's no guarantee to that lump sum in the 401k turning into income. You're just supposed to take out what?
You guess. And you're going to deal with somebody on the other end of the phone that really doesn't know. I'm being, look, politically incorrect for a moment. They don't know anything. Now, once in a while, I was on T. Rowe Price a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and T. Rowe Price had some experts on. There were some guys on there that we were dealing with a couple of specialized tax problems, and they cleared it up for us, and they were really good. That's 1 out of 1,000 companies that we call will have some experts on the other end. Most of the time, you're dealing with very inexperienced people. Yes, some of them know about it. You know, all you got to do, if you have a retirement plan, thrift savings plan, you know, with the county or the government in Florida, call them sometimes. First of all, if you can get through to somebody, that's a big deal. Second, if you can get somebody really is knowledgeable and knows what they're talking about. I've had clients sitting in my office here, and we've gone through 3 different people before we get to somebody that actually knows what they're talking about, right? But I'll just say this, look, it's your money. If you have a 401k, if you have an IRA, if you have some kind of a plan that you don't know how it works, they've got a plan for you. It's called We'll Wing It.
Okay. Wing It plan?
Yeah, we'll wing it. Right. And this is when we sit down with clients, we give you a plan of action, not a plan. People sell plans out there. Here you go. Have a nice day. Okay. We don't do that. We're going to have a plan of action. If this happens, if you turn this age, if you die, that's a plan with action. If something comes up, This is what happens. If that happens, this happens. We know specifically to the penny, we've done many shows on this, how much money you're going to get for the rest of your life. And if you get sick, how much money you or your spouse will get for the rest of your life. Okay?
Can you really get income forever?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Go to jupiterjoe.com. Give Jupiter Joe a call now, 561-743-0999.
That's right.
So we talked about in the other show, flexibility, versatility of these annuities. And I think that plays into, the numbers we just gave, income for life. You're 67, you wait 3 years to turn on the income. You don't have to turn it on in 3 years. You can see what if it's 5 years, 10 years.
I think people are so used to being told what to do by other financial advisors that when they come in to see us and we say, look, it's up to you. So let me explain. You put $250,000 with Jupiter Joe. You got this annuity. You come in next year, and I'm making up a number. It's worth $300,000. Okay, the income bucket's worth $300,000, and you call me or you come in and you say, hey Joe, what's the income stream? It's gonna be, I'll make up a number, $30,000 a year, and you say, you know what, but I'm not ready to turn it on yet. I really don't need the money, but we need some money this year. How much you need? Well, we need 20. Okay, we send you $20,000.
Right.
Okay. Most of the time, you could take maybe you're taking your bonus back that we got you, depending on what the annuity is and all that sort of thing. You could do that, or you don't have to take any money. Now, if it's IRA 401k money. At 73, unfortunately, you have to take that distribution. And I'm going to talk in a couple of minutes about Roth, but if it's a Roth, you don't have to do anything because there's no RMDs with a Roth, right? But if it's an IRA 401k, 403b, any of those numbers and letters, you're going to have to take money at age 73. You don't have a choice, right?
Right, exactly. And a lot of people, they worry about the RMD. They don't know what it is. They don't know how much money they're going to get. It changes every year based on how old they are.
Yep. And I love people that come in, they go, hey, I got to take my 3%. And I go, or they'll say, I got to take 4% or whatever it is. And I go, it's a divisor. It's actually how long the government thinks you're going to live, how many years you got left to live. That's they divide it by the amount of money you have on December 31st, the year before you turn your money on. Right. And that's how they figure this stuff out. And we know to the penny how much you need to take if it's an RMD. And generally speaking, with an RMD, it's usually going to be lower, much lower than one of these payouts.
So if you think about it, the RMD, you're required to take out a certain amount because the IRS wants that money that you haven't paid taxes on.
You haven't paid taxes on it for 30 years. They want their money.
Right.
Now, listen, there's a lot of stuff online. If you watch these videos out there's a lot of lines, shows, whatever you want to call them, podcasts that talk about taxes and IRAs and 401ks. You got to pay the tax. You didn't pay the tax. Now it's time to pay the tax. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. It sucks, but you got to pay the tax. If you need the income, you got to pay the tax. Now, if you convert to a Roth, you're still going to pay the tax, but you'll pay less taxes later, hopefully, and you won't have RMDs, and you won't have any requirements to do anything you don't want to do. And your money's 100% tax-free when you take it, and it's 100% tax-free when you give it to your kids or your family, your spouse or whatever. But the problem is you're going to pay taxes no matter what. I have so many times people call me and say, hey, Joe, I'm retiring this year. I need a Roth. And I go, you would have had to buy that Roth 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They don't understand that. Now, and I say, do you need the money? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going to live off this money. Well, you don't need a Roth. That's only going to give you less income. But it'll be tax-free. Yeah, but you're getting half. You're better off paying the tax at 30% or 20%, whatever your tax rate is, and then you'll have more income. Doesn't that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We've also had a lot of questions recently about some people have variable annuities and they don't realize that there's something better out there, that especially if they want income.
Well, we were talking about this the other day in our meeting. We have a meeting once a week and we talk about different topics. And one of them was why people are coming in and what problems they have, because we want to know what's happening, right? And number one reason people are coming is they actually don't know what they have. And I'm being totally honest with you. Sometimes they don't know they have an annuity. And
a lot of times.
Dana said, Dana has great questions. She said to me, she said, well, why would they not know they have an annuity? Well, first of all, I said to her, well, people that sell this stuff, sometimes they never even tell people they have an annuity. Just they go, oh, here, buy this. This is what's great for you. You'll love it.
Here's the returns.
Here they sell you on the idea and they don't even tell you that's an annuity. there's many shows out there that do this, and they don't even disclose that they're selling annuities. We tell everybody up front we're doing annuities. They have surrender charges, they have fees, blah, 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 whatever it is, we disclose that. So if you don't know that you have an annuity or you think you have an annuity, those annuities come with different things. They come with riders. One of the people came in last week and they had a rider and they didn't even know it. And I said, you ran the numbers. It was, they were going to get $12,000. I'll just round it off. They were going to get $12,000 a year if they turned the income on with that company, a different company that they bought 10 years ago. We ran the numbers and they're going to get $15,000 a year. Now, this doesn't have to be a crazy question. Which would you rather get, $12,000 a year or $15,000 a year? That's
like saying, do you want a bonus or do you not want a bonus?
Exactly. Ask a kid, do you want ice cream or you want pretzels? They're going to say, I want ice cream. It's that simple. So you have to know what you have. And that's one of the reasons. Let's talk about an interview with me. You're going to bring as much crap as you can in, all your financial crap. Bring it in. It's a pile. Some people have a big bag of it. Some people have one statement. Yeah. Some people hide it in their pocketbook and then they take it out after they think they can trust me. So that's the truth, right? And that's fine. I whatever works for you. I learned that a long time ago. But the point is, you have to know what you have. Sometimes you need an interpretation of what you have. Sometimes I look at stuff and go, what the heck is this, right?
A lot of times people have too much stuff where they're trying to simplify. They're trying to consolidate things to make it easier, especially when they have multiple IRAs and they have to start taking RMDs.
Yeah. And we were talking about that with nurses. For some reason, nurses have worked at 3-4 hospitals sometimes, 3-4 doctors, and they'll have 3 or 4, 403Bs or, 401Ks, whatever they're called with the company they have. And I explained to them, hey, listen, why don't we combine this and make it simple on you? And they go, that's what we're looking for, I think this show, let's get back to it a little bit. I think this is the question that people really can you really get guaranteed income? Can you really guarantee your income for the rest of your life? Is there really such a thing as income forever? Yes. It's called a pension plan. It's called a private pension plan for yourself called an annuity. You can call it whatever you want. It's income for life, right? And yes, we do those, and we have every major carrier out there. We pay for a service that we don't sell one company. We have every major carrier, pretty much, I'll say 90% of them out there, and we run you the top 3 payments. Who is best? If you want A+ rated, we'll give you A+ rated only. Sometimes a B++ will pay a little better. That's why we'll show you that. But if you want A+, we'll give you A+. And we'll show you who the top 3 in the country are out of every insurance company. Here they are. If you have a specific need, you want one company, we'll get you that company. But really, it's about who pays the best rates, right? The best income.
Who's paying the income for life?
And the most.
That's
right. Now, sometimes one may not have an income doubler, one will. I will tell you, take the company that has the income doubler if you get a little less money, We actually, do this as a service, or sometimes clients will call me and say, hey, I have this company. And Al Capola was his perfect example. Came to us, I don't know, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And he's like, look, I have this company from New York. I bought it years ago when I was a chiropractor. And I put in this much money and it's now worth this. And I'm going to get, I think it was $2,000 a month. And I said, let me shop. I made a few phone calls. I ran a couple of numbers. They ran numbers for me. And we got him $2,900 a month. Well, what would you rather have, $2,000 a month or $2,900? You're going into retirement now. You're older. You're not working, and you need money and you need income. You want $2,000 a month, or you want $2,900 a month? I mean, this is so basic. This doesn't. There's no salesmanship necessary for me to show you the benefit of getting $2,000 a month or getting $2,900 with another insurance company. The only difference is the new insurance company has a different name on the building. Which one do you want to deal with? The one that pays you more, or the one that pays you less? Oh, no, I'd rather get less money. Oh, yeah. It doesn't make any sense. I have people that actually, well, how can one company? Because it's America. Companies do different things, The Federal Trade Commission allows you to run a business however you'd like, as long as it's legal, right? Okay, and you're not hurting people, right? Well, I think giving more money is not hurting people, right?
It's a win-win. I remember him even asking his accountant.
He went to his tax guy who we had lunch with, him and his partner.
Very nice.
And the accountant said to him, what are you waiting for? This is a no-brainer. And Al said, okay, let's do it. And Al has talked a few times about us over the years in emails and whatever. But the point is, if you have an annuity or you think you have an annuity and you want forever income, like we're talking about here, let's do a comparison. Now, look, once in a while, 1 out of 10, we get somebody who will get more income. Very hard to find those, but once in a while we get somebody that has that. But generally speaking, we're to get you more income. Okay. If it's $1 more, it's worth doing. I'll tell you why, because most of the older plans don't have the income doubler.
Yeah.
And you want that income, you want the income doubler. Why? Because people get sick, right? And maybe it's not going to happen to you, but if it does, you have an income doubler that lasts for that period of time. So when you are sick, you get more income. Doesn't that make sense?
It does. Let Joe run your numbers. Find out if you can really get income forever.
Yeah.
And figure out your numbers.
I think some people have a hard time because I get this all the time, and I don't like it, but I tell people, you're going to live longer than you think.
Yeah.
If you're 70, I have people come in and they go, I hope I last 5 years, right? I mean, but if you made it to 70, your mortality table's probably 85 or whatever it is, 87, right? Mm-hmm. Or 90. But you have to plan that if you do live that long, you can't live life going and planning for income going, you know what? I got 5 years left, so let's just blow it all. And now you're 70. You want to come in at 70. You're now 75, and you got no money. You're definitely going to be working at Publix. You're definitely going to be working at DoorDash delivering stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. Look, I've done hard job. I've waitered. I've done it all right over the years when I was younger. But the point is, those people are hard workers, but you don't want to be in that position at 70 or 75 or 80. Right?
Where you must do it. They
call it the golden years for a reason. You're supposed to enjoy life, travel, and have fun, or do you want to just sit home and worry about money all day, right? And I'm being facetious for a moment, but it's really important that you understand, anybody listening right now, if you have money that is dead money, sitting around doing nothing, you need to do something. Give us a call. We can get you better rates of interest. If you have an older annuity or you have a pension plan and you want to see if we can beat the rate, and beat the numbers, give us a call. I mean, it's that simple, and it doesn't cost you anything. Free, We're in business to make money, but we're in business to help people first, okay? If we're getting you more money per month, it's a big deal,
Go to JupiterJoe.com. Give Jupiter Joe a call now, 561-743-0999. You can also check out our YouTube channel. Go to Jupiter Joe Money Show, and you can see our past episodes. New episodes every Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday mornings. Continue the show. I also wanted to bring up the couples, income for life. Mm-hmm. It's not just the husband or the wife's life, it's your spouse as well.
Correct. We do a joint life payout. Joint means two people, husband and wife. It's got to be a husband and wife, right? In fact, only a spouse, somebody you're married to, can be part of the deal, right? So you definitely want to have that. But I want to bring up something you brought here to my attention with this show. And this is so important, worrying less, and you put in here that this stuff reduces stress. Having an income stream reduces stress. Mm-hmm. The more income you have, the better off you will be. The better off you will be, the less stress you will have, the less worrying you will have about your money. How many shows have we done to the penny about Social Security? It's guaranteed.
Hundreds.
It's guaranteed. I've been talking about Social Security so much, I hate Social Security, right? But Social Security guarantees you an income stream for you. And if you and your wife worked for years, your husband or wife will get the higher of the other person's if they die. That's called the continuation of benefits. Well, so does an annuity. You get income for life, and if one of you die, the other person continues to get the same payments. If you're getting $1,000 a month for you, you pass away, your wife gets $1,000 a month forever, the rest of your life, just like Social Security. So when you add up the numbers, I have people say, they go, okay, wait a minute, Joe, I'm going to get $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month for Social Security. And you're telling me I'm going to get $2,000 a month from this. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's $4,000 a month guaranteed income. That's $48,000 a year. All my bills are paid. My house is paid. My cars are paid. I have $500,000 or $200,000 in the bank in a checking account. And you tell me you're going to get me 6.3% on that too. Yeah. And that's going to turn into another $12,000 a year, which you can take $1,000 a month out. That's how I talk to clients. Mm-hmm. So now I've got $5,000 a month coming in, and I have zero risk. You think you're going to be stress-free?
Yeah. You're going to feel a lot better too.
The nicest compliment, look, I've got a lot of nice compliments in my life from people over the years. I've gotten gifts from clients. I love my clients, right? And they love me. And I'm just being,
And us too. Me
And
and
of course,
Dana,
you
we've
guys
gotten
do,
gifts
and my
too.
kids, right? They do great
We're very
things, right?
appreciative.
But one of the things that I was going to talk about is just that helping people is so important. And one of the best compliments I can ever get from people is they tell me, somebody came in my office last week and they said to me, the husband said, "Thank you for letting me be able to retire."
Mm-hmm.
That's a big compliment to me because I feel like I really did my job right. I know I help people, but when somebody tells me, "Thank you, Joe, thank you so much for we had somebody come in, husband and wife, and the wife wanted to retire yesterday.
Yep.
You remember the people,
I remember.
right? They probably know I'm talking about, right? And we don't mention names, by the way. We just talk about the stories of people, and people love these stories. I have people all the time say, I heard your story about this, and it's true. You can't make this. You don't see any. I'm not reading notes here. The notes are over there, right? I mean, I know this from memory. And the client came in with the husband and wife, and he said, she wants to make sure she can retire. I said, yeah, you can retire. Yeah. And most of the time when we tell somebody that, they're going to get more money per month than when they were working. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it is a big deal, guaranteed income and income forever. And if you don't think it's a real thing, give me a call and let me compare what you have at your, it's funny. These ladies came in today and they had checks and they went to their banks and they're moving stuff over. And they said, oh yeah, the bank was asking me, where are you putting the money and all this? And I said to them, did you ask them if they could get you 6.3%? We were doing fixed annuity. Can you get 6.3%? Of course they can't,
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. People just, the bank, sure, they want to be nice to you. They want your money, but are they going to pay you more money? Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing whether you have an annuity, a CD. Look around. Let us see if we can beat those rates. Give us a call. Give us an opportunity to earn your business. Let me show you what I know about this retirement stuff and annuities and how they can help you and why money in general. It's money. It's not about the product. It's about what the product does for you.
Yes. While you're living, while you're alive.
Right. So that's why you give us a call. It's that simple.
Thanks for tuning in to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. What a great show. We'll see you next time on the Jupiter Joe Money Show. Don't forget, go to jupiterjoe.com or give us a call now, 561-743-0999. Catch you next time.
Thank you, folks.